Hey guys, Abakasian. I'm with Nathan with his updated Crusadia post ban list deck profile video. And what do you have to say, Nathan?
So the ban list hit Crusadia pretty hard. You have to run a lot less of the optimal stuff. There are ways around it, some of which I'm playing, some of which I'm not. Just as a disclaimer, this is not the build I would recommend. But if you're on a budget, this does get the job.
Yeah, we're a budget channel here at Double Cost.
Budget channel all the way.
What do you got?
All right. Without further ado, main. Still playing 3 Maximus.
Of course.
Never run less than 3. Double damage is too good. 3 Leonis. Again, second highest stat gain that you can get from a Crusadia monster. Second to Maximus. Piercing damage is really good. They can't scapegoat defensively. They'll still lose. So again, 3 of. Draco. 3 Draco.
Okay.
Combo extender. You always want to either open this up or search it with Magius. It kind of hurts if you open up with 2. It kind of hurts if you open up with 2 of any of the Crusadias with the same name. But yeah, combo extender. You need to play 3 of these, especially 3 of these.
So is this an OTK build or is it more control build? What is this?
Crusadia has to be played as an OTK. They can go first and they can create some decent boards, but it's OTK all the way. You wanna go second. You wanna draw into your cards, your combo pieces. You wanna go off, make that Maximus, and just hit them for game. So yeah, 3 Draco to combo extend. 3 Reclusia. This is another combo extender, although in a different way. So if you've watched the previous deck profile, I've talked about how you can chain block with this deck. You can chain block with Draco, which is the better chain block because you get to add 2 cards to hand instead of 1, and they can't ash you. But Reclusia does the same thing. Essentially, you summon him to a zone Link Monster points to, and then his effect will be Chain Link 2, and then your Link Monster will be Chain Link 1. So you get to blow up a card and do your searches or whatever, and stop them from responding with Ash or Ogre or whatever. So 3 Reclusia, it gets rid of back row, which you want to do, and chain blocks. Finally, for the Crusadia lineup, 3 Crusadia Arborea. If you notice, I'm playing just 3 of every Crusadia monster. You want to open up with as many of these with different names as possible. It does suck if you open up with 2 with the same name, so it seems kind of counterintuitive as to why you would play like 3 of all of them, but especially now with post-ban list, where you don't have access to a bunch of the cards, like 1 Hornet Bit hurts a lot. So I recommend playing 3 of everything. She protects Crusadia monsters, multiple from destruction. So if you're Punch Rest, the Dark Hole, Regeki, Torrential, this stops all of your Crusadias from dying. So I recommend it.
Alright, sweet.
Now onto the non-Crusadias. I'm playing 2 World Legacy World Crown. This is a pseudo Crusadia monster because it can still be summoned to a zone a Link Monster points to. In addition, if you're going first, you can summon this, and it can attribute itself to negate extra deck monster effects on your opponent's turn. So if you want to create a good first turn board, you can have this or some way to get it out plus a Maximus, and that'll give you at least 2 negates. So this is really good. It's combo extender plus it's a defensive card, and it has 2k attack and defense, so it's a good boost for Maximus and just to sit on in defense mode. So for a new edition, I'm playing Mech Knight Indigo Eclipse.
Okay.
This is literally just run as another combo extender. It can be summoned, as all Mech Knights, it can be summoned if you have 2 cards in the same column. I don't recommend playing Indigo Eclipse specifically. I'm playing it because this is what I have. In addition to it being pretty good attack, it can also change what column it's in, which does come up in some games if you want to move it out of a zone a Link Monster is pointing to. Specifically, there are some situations where you can move it out of a zone that Echo Max is pointing to, and since Echo Max is no longer pointing to it, it'll be able to attack as long as you don't activate Revival, which gives you some more plays and some more OTK opportunities if you don't have access to the Crusadia Field spell. If you were going to play Mech Knights, play the good ones. Play Blue Sky and the Purple Nightfall.
Yeah.
Purple Nightfall and
Purple and
Blue
blue
Sky.
guys.
Yeah, play those or the ones that blow up spells and traps or monster effects. Don't play this one. But this will get the job done. Then, as before, we are still playing our 4 Kaiju lineup. I thought about upping this to 5. However, in playtesting, I found that 5, you just see them a little too often. If the game drags out, these are fine, but I would rather see things that let me recover and combo extend better. and these kind of just deal with one problem, but if you slap them over an opponent's monster, you're kind of creating another problem if you don't have a follow-up play, because I'm playing ones with decent attack, right, because you want to give them to your Echo Max, but it can work against you. So yeah, 4 Kaijus, you can up it to 5, it's up to preference. I found 4 to be the sweet spot. Finally, last monsters, I'm still playing 3 Veiler. I still personally believe that 3 Veiler is the optimal hand trap to play in this deck, because you want your opponent to have a board. And Effect Veiler kind of ensures that they have a board, but they can't really.
What about Impermanence then?
Impermanence is decent, but if you're going second, Veiler does almost the same thing, and it costs less. So
yeah, okay, it just costs less. All right,
just play better.
Okay, all right.
Just it does the same thing.
Because you said optimal hand trap. I'm just like, excuse me, Impermanence is $80, so.
Yeah, right. No. Okay, taking cost into account, this is still the most optimal.
Okay,
like,
okay.
Some people will say like Ash or Droll, but if you Ash or Droll someone, sometimes their turn just ends, and then they don't have anything on the board. But you want them to have something, so I think Veiler's better. So that's it for the monsters. Now onto the spells. For the Crusadia lineup, I'm still playing 2 power and 1 revival. I noticed that a lot of people pre-ban lists were playing this at 1, and now they're bumping it up to 2, which I like, because I think this card should have always been played at 2. You almost never search this going second because you want to get to the revival, and if you're going first, you'd rather search one of the traps. But this just gives so much protection, because no matter how many negates you have going first, or no matter how much attack you have going second, there's still going to be stuff that'll try and stop you. And just having the free lance for everything is nice. Revival, I shouldn't really have to explain this. If you don't know what it does, it lets your link monster attack everything. So yeah, play Revival. You only play it at 1 because you only need it at 1. If you can search it with a link too. Self-explanatory. Next new edition, I am in fact playing 3 Black Garden. So this card is phenomenal in Crusadia. It's actually phenomenal. If people know that you're playing Crusadia, they'll sometimes try to play around it and like create these suboptimal boards for themselves that still have some presence but lack monsters. This literally just shits on any player that tries to play conservatively. Since the deck has so many combo extenders, so many free summons, you get all those tokens onto the board, and you'd be like, oh wait, but your Echo Max would have his attack halved. But before you go into Echo Max, you can always just search this and then place it over Black Garden before you summon the Echo Max. And even if you summon the Echo Max with Black Garden on board, as someone pointed out in the previous video, Echo Max stat gain actually adds original attack. So even if Echo Max's attack is halved and the monsters it's pointing to have their attacks halved, Echo Max will actually gain their original attack. So it doesn't matter.
Busted, man.
It's busted. You get this on board and you just give your opponent so many monsters that it just, like, with Revival, it's almost always an OTK. It's amazing. Crusadia does not care if their attack gets halved. They can just punch through it anyway. Going off of that, there are 2 Call by the Grave. Play it at 2. Don't play it at 1. Don't play it at 0. Play it at 2. All combo decks should be playing this card.
Card's actually broken. That's why I said eliminated it.
The card's so broken. It's good against hand traps. It's good against grave-oriented decks. Just always play it, because if your opponent tries to stop you or do anything, you know, they try to Ash, they try to Ogre, they try to Impermanence, like, not Impermanence,
yeah.
but you know what I mean. Like, for combo-oriented decks, this is a must-have. I will say the semi-limit was warranted, but if they're going to semi-limit this, like, why?
Yeah.
Get rid of the fucking hand traps, not this. But anyway.
Maxi at 3. All right.
Maxi at 3. All right, so finally, I have a bunch of one-offs. I'm going to go over them one by one, starting with Hornet Bit. I'm still playing 1 Hornet Bit. I know it's at 1. This is suboptimal, but it is a free monster. It's a free link. It's a free effect monster. As I pointed out before, Kagari can chain block, which is very important for this deck to stop hand traps if you don't have a Call by the Grave. So I'm still playing it. At the end of the profile, I will mention some alternatives for stuff like Hornet Bit. Monster Reborn, free summon, self-explanatory, gives you more fodder for link climbing. Interrupt the Kaiju Slumber to go with the 4 Kaijus. Also, if your opponent tries to sit on no monsters, you can like just use this and then give him a Kaiju, and then you can OTK off of that. Rhoda, it's just an extender, kind of. It only searches Arborea, so it only searches the water one. But it's nice so that you have some guaranteed way to get to a Crusadia monster, which sometimes, you want to be as consistent as possible, so being able to search is not bad. New edition, Mind Control. This is kind of a troll card, but you will find, as I have found, I think, that in more situations than not, it will come in handy. It doesn't target. You get a free monster. You can use this to link climb.
But how does Mind Control not target?
The wording does it just says take control of one monster your opponent controls.
That's like unupdated text.
Maybe it is, but
There's no way Mind Control does not target. Nathan's spewing lies.
Okay, comment below whether or not. There's
no way Mind Control does not target.
Regardless, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you take with this. So even if they have something that can't be targeted, I guarantee they'll have a second monster. Like, you just take something for free and you turn it into link fodder. It's free link climbing to make anything.
Why at 1? You just don't want to see it often?
Isn't Mind Control at 1?
It's at 3. Dude, look at this dude. Doesn't even know what that card's at 3.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't play this. I wouldn't play this at 3 anyway because it doesn't summon the monsters, so you won't get some of the link effects. It's just nice to be able to link climb if you have a suboptimal hand. Like I said, I'm doing the bare minimum of updating this deck just to make it playable. And I will go over what you should be playing optimally at the end. So final card, 1 trap. I'm still playing Crusadia Vanguard. Going first, this card is amazing because it allows you to summon a Reclusia on your opponent's turn to blow up a card, or it lets you summon a World Legacy World Crown on your opponent's turn to stop them from getting stuff out of the extra deck. So this is a nice disruption. You can search this with a link to, and then sit on it, and then on your opponent's turn, flip it over, tribute something, get one of these two, and disrupt their plays. So that's it for the main deck. Before I go over the extra deck, I want to talk about how this deck kind of should be played, and some of the other stuff that you can play. So obviously Mech Knights, as I mentioned before, are a good option because they are free special summons, so definitely play those. Another option, there's a new Crusadia trap that just came out called Crusadia Crawler. It is a trap monster that when summoned to his own link monster points to, you get to add a World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. That's decent. It gives you a summon on your opponent's turn, which sometimes can't come up if you want to sit on your link 1 or link 2, because those searches actually will go off during your opponent's turn, so you get like 2 searches. In addition, if you're going to play Crusadia Crawler, I recommend playing this card, World Legacy World Lance. This is an honest for link monsters. It basically makes them gain 3,000 attack during a battle. So it's really nice. Not really disruption, but protection. If you have to sit on like a link 2 or a link 1, if you're not making Equimax turn 1, this is nice. As for other combo extenders, what I have kind of seen people doing, or what I've seen people doing. There's Rescue Cat builds. I think the Rescue Cat build is okay. However, it's really prone to Ash. If you normal summon Rescue Cat and then try to use this effect and then they Ash you, your turn is over. And at that point, you kind of just lose. But if you're going to play Cat, play 3 Cat. And then there's a like Mythical Beast, I believe. It's a lamb. It's like a link to... it's a link to Earth Beast Tuner that you can play a 1 of with Rescue Cat. So you'd Rescue Cat into 1 Leonis and then 1 of that lamb. And that allows you to actually make it an Aturi Beast. Assuming you have like more cards in hand, obviously, because you want a Leonis into your Link 1 Magius and then kind of go off from there. But eventually you'll make a Nat Beast, which stops all spells, right? So Sky Strikers kind of cry. The other recommendation I have is for instant fusions. If you can get your hands on 3 instant fusions, I highly recommend playing them. And play the fucking Thousand Eyes Restrict and Millennium Eyes Restrict in your extra deck. It seems weird, but going second, those cards are actually amazing to just spit out onto the board. Millennium Eyes, you can grab something from grave to either negate a retroactive effect that your opponents have. Thousand Eyes, you can steal a monster your opponent controls if they have something that you just don't want to have to deal with later. In addition, summoning them off of Instant Fusion, since they're effect monsters, you put them in a Link Monster, a zone a Link Monster points to, and you'll get like the surges for Link 1 and Link 2. So I highly recommend playing Instant Fusions plus 1,000 Eyes and Millennium Eyes if you can do that. Other effect monsters work too, but I found that those are the best use of your resources. So those are my recommendations. So on to the extra deck. Crusadia lineup, you're still playing 3 Magius. This is your monster searcher. It's a Link 1. You summon a Link monster, you get a search for a Crusadia monster. You summon a Crusadia, or summon an effect monster to a zone of points, so you get a search for a Crusadia monster. It's so good. It's your recover play if you have to recover, but ideally you want to OTK them. So 3 of. You can try playing it 2. I just don't like the idea of running out of them. Then the Crusadia Link 2, Crusadia Regulex, searches spells and traps. You can sit on this going first, and like I said before, if you summon a monster that points to during your opponent's turn, you get the search anyway, so you can sometimes get 2 searches if you sit on this. Searches spells and traps, self-explanatory, you just use it to link climb as usual. For the boss boy himself, 3 Crusadia Echomax. Amazing card. It allows you to OTK because it gains stupid amounts of attack. But in addition, it also has a effect for on your opponent's turn to negate card effects by attributing a Crusadia or World Legacy monster it points to. Really good card. You can cut this down to 2. Honestly, most people only play 2. I had the space and I had the card, so I decided to continue playing 3. If you are going to play 2, I recommend if you're going first to not actually make him and just sit on Regulex, so that you don't have to burn through one, so you have follow-up plays. For the non-Crusadia links, I'm still playing Kagari and Hayate. As you saw, I'm still playing the 1 Hornet bit, so I kind of want these 2 targets, because Hornet bit can make both of these in 1 turn, right? You Kagari, add the spell back, you go into something else, and then Hornet bit a second time for Hayate. But these can become Nat Beast and FA Dawn Dragster if you want to have more synchros, or it can become 1,000 Eyes and Millennium Eyes if you're going for the Instant Fusion route. If you want to play both, you can do that, and some of these other cards can be taken out. If you have other options, don't play these at all, along with the Hornet bit. Just don't play them. It's not worth it. 1 Topologic Trisbana. Really good back row removal. It kind of sucks having to make it sometimes, though, I will say, simply because if you're going second and they sell the back row, getting to a Link 3 can be hard as it is. However, if you are going first and you make this, with the new trap Crusadia Crawler, that'll actually let you summon a monster during your opponent's turn, blow up other back row, and then Crusadia Crawler will still add you a card. So that's kind of the play you want to do with the new trap. It doesn't work as well in this build, obviously, but you still want it for back row removal. 1 Nightmare Mermaid, just to get rid of if they give you an Ibly. You don't really care if they give you an Ibly, but just to make it easier on yourself. 1 Underclock Taker, because you can. Again, this is kind of a flex slot along with my last slot, which is just a Stardust Dragon. I side deck Starlight Road if I have to go first, and they have a lot of multi removal. But these are really flex slots. Again, Nat Beast, F8 on Dragster, I recommend both of those. If you want to be a little cheeky, you can play 1 Black Rose, since Arborea is a level 3, and a bunch of the other ones are level 4. You can make 7s relatively easily. But yeah, so flex slots. They're really the only things that are important in this deck are the Crusadia links and then maybe Trisbana. If you notice, I'm not playing the new Link 2. I don't have it yet. A friend has grabbed it for me, but I have not had a chance to grab it from him. You only need to play 1. You can play 2. Like I said, this extra deck is pretty flexible, but I think 1 is doable. Other than that, there is a Gumblar build. I don't have Gumblar, so I haven't worried about learning the combo. But there is a Gumblar build if you want to play Gumblar. That's about it, though. That's
all right.
My profile.
All right.
Have
Sweet.
fun.
I think that's it, guys. Nathan's out. I'm out. Double Costin out. What's up, guys?